Hey guys, Gameboy 3800 here once again, and we have the Alienware mousepad here back once again, so that must mean it's time for another review, and boy oh boy do I have something special today. The other video I got this machine and cleaned it up, and now it's got Windows, and I did some game testing, and now we're going to go over the machine for some review and benchmarks. So, without further ado, here is the beast. This is the Alienware Aurora mALX-r1. This one is special from the first review I ever did of a laptop, which was another mALX-r1, but this one is special for two reasons. Number one, this has dual video cards, and they're both the highest end card, the 7950 GTX, and they both work. That's one of the big things, but the other thing is, if we go ahead and take a look at the bottom cover here, we will see that this is one of the limited edition models. Only 200 of these were ever made. And what sets these apart is that they have a color shifting top panel. So depending on how the light hits it, it'll be a different color. Like that's more pink or blue or red. Then we turn it this way, and it comes more green or blue. And depending on how you look at it, it'll change colors. So that's really cool. It is hand airbrushed and awesome. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the exterior first. It's all plastic, but the top is hand airbrushed to be custom colors. I said that before. It's got the light up alien head. It lights up blue. It's pretty cool. On the right side of the laptop, we have a whole bunch of ports. We have a phone line, we have an IR blaster, it looks like, and well, some kind of IR blaster, and then we have SD card, then we have TV tuner, or an antenna, 3 USBs, a mini firewire, and a PC MCIA. On the front we have a whole lot of nothing except for the lid clips to keep the screen closed. On the left side we have the DVD drive and audio ports. Coming along to the back, we have S-video, serial, USB, and another phone line. Oh, that's the LAN port on the right side, my mistake. Then we have lots of venting, we have power, DVI dual link, and keyboard mouse. Nope, TV out. And on that must be the S-video in, that side's the S-video out. And I also forgot to mention that there's more venting on the right side as well. And I'm going to tip it upside down for a moment here, just to play Count the Fans. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! One fan for each video card, and this has a single AMD processor, or single core AMD processor, and 2 fans to cool it. This here's the big old battery. This one does hold a charge, but I will be keeping it plugged in for this review, just in case. Opening it up now by undoing the 2 latches on the either corner here. We get to see the lovely, actually really good looking gloss black finish. And the mouse buttons. The mouse buttons are made out of metal. Trackpad is plastic, but it still feels not terrible. It's not the best touchpad I've felt, not by a long shot. Up here we get 2 speakers, and there's 2 more speakers underneath. And that actually gives it very, very good quality sounding speakers. Game testing on this was a pleasure. The screen is a 19-inch model. Some Sega units I've seen can come in 20.1 inches, where you might be able to see there's a bit of extra bezel along the edges here that would just be filled in with more screen. It would not fill up, or it would not change the resolution. It's still 1680 by 1050, but I guess it just adds to the wow factor. That being said, the colors on this display are absolutely amazing. Like, just general picture viewing is really good. This model seems to have an upgraded Wi-Fi adapter because it's able to find more Wi-Fi things than one of my other laptops. Like it's able to see 5 gigahertz. Doesn't run at 5 gigahertz speed, but it can connect to them. And we're going to go back down to the keyboard here. This is one of my favorite keyboards of all time, just by the way it feels. But it is pretty cramped in this big laptop here. Like, they could have easily gone with a much more full number pad and or bigger keys, or added some kind of macro keys to either side. Similar Clevo units have done similar things. But taking a look down here, we do have the Sli Badge, because it says this laptop does have dual 7950 GTX video cards, and they both work, and they're in SLI. This was the first ever model laptop to have dual video cards, so that's pretty cool, I guess. High-end laptops today can sometimes have dual video cards, so that trend is still carrying on. Here we have power, media buttons, and a 3D sound. In my original review I said this was to enable or disable SLI. That's not true, it just enables the 7.1 surround or whatever it's got. So without it, it sounds kind of tinny. With it, it sounds more boomy and more varied. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in now, and let's get ourselves powered up. When it's plugged up, the 3 lights at the bottom of the LED or LCD pop up, and we're good to go. This computer's a little bit noisy, but it's really not too bad. I'm going to zoom in on the screen here to show you the issue with old laptops like this. There we go. Often, or more often than not, the CMOS battery is dead, but thankfully I've got it set up to where we don't need to fix anything in the BIOS. We just load it up right into Windows. I threw in a 200 gigabyte hard drive and put Windows 7 64-bit onto it. I tried to put 32-bit on, but it wouldn't let me for whatever reason. And of all the mALX style units, like I've had Sager, Eurocom units come in as well, and this is by far the coolest and quietest running of all the lot. I don't know why. It's got the same processor, same memory, better video cards, whatever. So we're going to let it start up here. And there's the sound. Sound is very good. I said that. Picture, very good. I said that. Time to get into some games. Now, because of the age of this laptop, for whatever reason, games I would normally run, like The Forest, did not run. So I have a different batch of benchmarks I took. So the first benchmark I'm going to discuss is BeamNG Drive, normally a highlight for older machines because it's an easy game to run. Not so much this time. At 1280 by 800 at the lowest settings, this machine only got 8.2 FPS. It was abysmal. Meanwhile, the Alienware Area 51 M15X-r1 got 93. The Area 51 M17R1 got 68, and then the Dell Precision M6500 got 209. So, not a good showing, I'll be honest. And the Forest, I tried to run it at 1280 by 800, but it didn't even start up. And it apparently requires a DX10 video card. The 7950s in here only do DX9. Getting up to some better results, though. Borderlands 1 actually ran surprisingly well. Medium settings instead of high settings, though. Ran at 23.5. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but considering I had Alienware Area 51 M7700 with a 7900 GTX, about the same kind of card. That was barely playable at like 15 or 18 FPS. So the second video card doing some work. It worked pretty good there. You know the good result, Bioshock 1 at ultra settings. This machine does not have a 1920 by 1200 display, so it had to do with 1680 by 1050. As I was saying, Bioshock 1, 1920 by 1200, can't do that. This only has a 1680 by 1050 display. But that got a 26 frames per second. Not too bad considering that the Clevo D700T, a very similar unit, just with a Pentium 4 and a 7800 GTX, crashed because it ran out of resources. So, respectable. And then, to keep with October being spooky scary, I decided to run Amnesia: The Dark Descent, and that got 30 FPS. So not a bad system overall. Amnesia was the best running game. That's a fairly new game compared to this old machine, and I guess that's not too bad. To keep with tradition, we're going to go ahead and open up Chrome or whatever browser and see that trying to do anything online with a old AMD single-core processor is not fun. And dancing cat time. Woo. There we go. And that's about it. Trying to load up YouTube or anything like that on this old machine is not fun. It can only do 480p and not full screen or even theater mode. It's sad, but it's what you expect with a single-core AMD chip. That's going to do it for this mALX-r1 review. I'm now on the hunt for the mALX-r2, which is the dual-core version, which is even rarer than this, I think. Okay, either way, that's going to do it. This mALX is legendary. It is the last great Alienware that was ever made. Thanks, Game Boy out. I will see you in the future.